Hello everyone, welcome to the solution of LeetCode problem 721 named account merge. In this problem, we are given a list of accounts where each elements is the list of the strings and where the first element is the name and the rest of the elements are the email representing to this corresponding account, which is equal to the name. Now, we would like to merge these accounts. Two accounts definitely belongs to the same person if there is some common email to both of the accounts. Note that even if two accounts have the same name, they may belong to the different person, as people could have the same name. Now, a person can have any number of accounts initially, but all of their account definitely have the same name. After merging the accounts, return the accounts in the following format. The first element of each account is the name, and the rest of the elements are the emails in sorted order. The accounts themselves can be returned in any order. This is a pretty straightforward problem statement. I will explain the algorithm as well as the example in the next section. I hope you understood the problem statement. Now let's move on to the algorithm section. Here, to understand the algorithm, we have taken this example. Suppose initially John has two emails I have written shortly. One is j1@gmail.com and another is j2@gmail.com. So I am skipping .gmail.com. So let's write it something like j1 at the rate and j2 at the rate. Now this John has two emails, which is j1 at the rate and j3 at the rate. Now this Mary has one email, which is m1 at the rate, and this John has one email, which is j4 at the rate. Now, if we see that for this John, it has two emails. So far, so good. Now, for this John, it has the email j1 at the rate, which is similar to the first John. That means we can say that the second John can be merged to the first John. So here, if we merge the second John into the first John, the second John will be removed and the first John will get j3 at the rate of gmail.com. Now, for the Mary, it is m1 at the rate of gmail.com. And for this John, it is j4 at the rate of gmail.com. But j4 is not matching with any of the emails in the first John. So we cannot attach j4 or this John to first John. So here we have to return this list as the output. So this is the basic intuition or basic problem statement. I hope you understand it. Now let's see how can we solve this problem. At first, these problems basically belongs to merging or attaching something to something else. So if any kind of problem we have to deal with the merging, we can solve those kind of problem by using the disjoint set union data structures. Now here, let's see how this problem basically can be solved using the disjoint set union data structure. Now, before jumping into the solution, we have to take something related to mapping, right? Suppose this first John, let's its index or mapping is 0. This second John has index 1. This third Mary has index 2. And this fourth John as index 3. Now suppose currently we are at this J1 at the rate of. So J1 at the rate of I am speaking, I am just skipping right now, is belongs to the 0 group. Similarly, J2 belongs to the group 0, which is equal to John. Now, for this J1, it is already presented here into the map. So, we can say that this 1 can be attached to this 0. So, according to the definition of the disjoint set, all of the node is the parent of itself first. That means 0 is parent of itself, 1 is parent of itself, 2 is parent of itself, and 3 is parent of itself. Now, as this J1 is already presented into the dictionary, that means we can say that this 1 can be connected to 0, or this 1 can be merged with 0. So, 1 is merged with 0 and this 1 will be removed. Now, for J1, it is belongs to the group 0. Now, for J3, it belongs to the group 0 right now, because J3 belongs to the group 1, but as this John is merged with this John, now J3 also belongs to the group 0. So here we will discard it and we will add J3 here into the group 0. Now for this Mary M1 basically belongs to the group 2, and for this John J4 basically belongs to the group 3. Now we have to basically find that group 1 is merged with group 0, or we can say that the account 1 is merged with account 0. Now, what is the next step? The next step is we have to take another dictionary. So here at the group 0, we have found J1, J2, and J3. At the group 2, we have found M1. At the group 3, we have found J4. So far, so good. Now, what is the desired output? So, the desired output will be something like this. What is the key here? It is 0. So, at the 0, we have the value John. So, we will add John here. And what is the remaining emails? It is J1, J2, and J3. So, we have to sort them. But fortunately, all of them are sorted here. So, it will become John, J1, J2, and J3. This is the first entry of our result output. Now, what is this key? It is 2. So, what is the name at the index 2? Which is Mary. So, we have to add Mary. And we have to add M1 here. Now, what is the key here? Which is 3. So, the name at index 3 is John again. So, we have to add John. And what is the corresponding email? It is J4. So we have to add it here. Now we have seen that this is basically our desired output, and we have merged the account 1 with account 0, and for each of the entry we have found the corresponding emails after the merging. I hope you understand how the disjoint set union is used here to solve this problem. Now let's move on to the code. In this problem, the code is pretty simple. At first, we are given a function named account merge, which has a vector of strings as account. Now, before jumping into the solution, you should understand what is the ultimate parent finding and what is the union by rank. I have already discussed it earlier. And if you don't have any idea about the parent finding and union by rank, I would recommend you to understand the concept, then come back to the code. Now here, initially, we are resetting the rank and parent. So we are taking an order map. The key is string, the value is integer. Again, we are taking another map where the key is integer and the value is vector of string. And this is our resultant vector. Now, in the disjoint set union, all of the node will be parent of itself. So the parent of I will be equal to I. Now for each of the elements, we are accessing the elements by using this nested loop. So here, for j equal to 1 to j less than account of I dot size, that means here we are accessing all of the emails. Now we are storing the emails into a string variable, and if the current email is absent in our email to index mapping, we are assigning it to the dictionary. Otherwise, we are attaching the current I with the email to index by using the union by rank. Now, for each of the email to index dictionary, the email is the first one and the ID is the second entry. Now, we have to find the ultimate parent or the root of the ID. Now here, index to emails root, we are inserting the corresponding email. That means we are building another dictionary for our desired output. Now, we have to iterate to this index to emails map, and we have to sort the corresponding emails, and we have to find the corresponding account name here, which is the iterator first 0 into the accounts mapping. Now we have to insert the name. After that, we have to insert all of the corresponding email, which is the beginning position to end position of the iterative second. Finally, we have to insert the corresponding temporary vector to the result vector and return the result. I hope you understood the code. Thank you everyone for watching the video. We will get back soon with another LeetCode solution.